Spiritual healing from the Parashat Pinchas. So, how can our belief in Hashem's goodness affect our attitude to hardship? We're going to learn about today about the perpetual elevation offering, the Korban Tamid, and how it can teach us about equanimity. So you don't have to be bipolar to suffer from mood swings. Almost everybody, especially women, experience ups and downs. And in Kabbalah, it's called Mochin de Gadlut, expanded consciousness, and Mochin de Katnut, constricted consciousness. So these ups and downs, they don't have anything necessarily to do with our circumstances at any given moment. It's more like our own, what's going on inside of ourselves and our own way of dealing with what's coming our way. So it's possible to experience expanded consciousness even when, God forbid, facing tragedy. It's not so easy to get to that place of spiritual freedom, joy, and love in the midst of great hardships. But that's the goal that we really, every believing Jew, we need to aspire to. We know that Hashem is the master of the universe. He's in charge of everything that happens everywhere. And when we're aware of that, then we have to remind ourselves what it says in the Gemara, Baba Kama Lamed Chet, Kol De'ivit Rachmana Letav Avit. Everything that the compassionate does, he does it for good. How can we not be constantly happy if we believe in this? If our belief is more than just lip service, our hearts have to be perpetually filled with love, trust, acceptance of whatever Hashem dishes out for us. Okay. So when we're in a state of expanded consciousness, we can break through, triumph over our emotional, intellectual, spiritual limitations, and express the latent powers of divine connection. The problem is that it's not always like that for us. Sometimes when things don't go our way, a lot of people, maybe we experience this, harbor repressed resentments towards Hashem. We're not going to admit it, but people may be struggling with the feeling that Hashem has turned his back to us, no longer cares about us. And so how can we elevate ourselves out of this state of constricted consciousness? How can we overcome the negative impulse of sadness and estrangement? The key to feeling constantly cheerful through thick and thin is, I believe, is to remember the good times in the difficult times. Whenever something really, really happy happened, like it happened to me just last week, that my son finally got engaged, and it became so clear all the hardships that our family have gone through during the last decade is actually step by step leading us to this happy celebration. But when you're in the midst of the murkiest challenges, on the verge of despair, not yet glimpsing the light at the end of the tunnel, that's when it's really challenging to perceive Hashem's goodness and his love for us. If I only would have known that in another decade or a year or months, my prayers would be fulfilled, the years of waiting wouldn't have been so unbearable. Like a pregnant mother with swollen legs, heartburn, heaviness, and other side effects, She can bear it all when she imagines the baby she soon will birth. So the key to feeling constantly cheerful through sick and sin is developing our sense of imagination to envision all the possible goods that is ensuing from our present suffering. Had we not been waiting so many years for our son to get engaged, we would not have felt as elated when it finally happened. The deeper the pain, the greater the gain. From our peak of joy, we can fathom the good points of being down and low. So I believe that the secret to acquiring the constancy in our divine service is to superimpose our moments of spiritual highs onto the bleak epochs of gloom by learning to perpetually cleave to Hashem and remember His prior kindness, whether to us or to our ancestors. We can elevate the hard times and infuse them with eternal joy. Unpacking the secret of equanimity, Sarah, our matriarch, possessed the secret of equanimity. Like it says about Sarah, the life of Sarah was 100 years and 20 years and 7 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Bereshit 23:1. Rashi learns from the apparent redundant phrase, Shenei Chaye Sarah, the years of the life of Sarah, that all her years were equally good. That's a really, really high level to achieve such wholeheartedness to Mimut, regardless of what we're going through. Although the beginning of Sarah's life bore many difficulties, such as famine, being taken captive by Pharaoh and Abimelech, at the end of her life, she experienced great blessings. Nevertheless, she never changed her positive attitude with the changes of life. Therefore, it says about Sarah, she bestows good and never bad all the days of her life. Her perfection is above the effects and changes of time, and therefore she was able to withstand any test. Rising perpetually to focus on the good beyond the changes of the times. In Parashat Pinchas, we're told to offer an Olah Tamid, a perpetual elevation offering. You shall say to them, this is the fire offering, which you shall offer to Hashem, 2 unblemished lambs, in the first year each day as a continual burnt offering. It didn't say Olat Tamid, Olat Tamid with a taf in the end, a perpetual burnt offering, but Olah Tamid with a hay in the end, perpetually rising, for we are called upon to perpetually rise before the measure of judgment and offer defense for others. The tzaddikim, the righteous ones, only look at the good points of Israel to awaken them from slumber. Their eyes always look upward, that is, upon the good points within Israel, which rise above the highest realms. Tzaddikim don't want to look down at all, that is, at their evil, for the good is the aspect of above, whereas the bad is the aspect of below. This is the aspect of what it says in Kohelet. Who knows that the spirit of people, which is sent on high, and the spirit of the beast, which descends below the earth. Kohelet 3:22. This is based on Rabbi Natan of Breslav, Likutei Halachot Or Chaim, Hilchot Tchumin Ve'iruvei, Halacha 6. Rising above perpetually to focus only on the good is what enables us to rise beyond the changes of the times, like Sarah, our mother, to tap into true inner joy unaffected by external circumstances. So are you ready now for the EmunaHealing exercise? For achieving steadfast perpetual equanimity. Sit upright, supported by the back of your chair or cushion, by the wall, or if you're able, sit upright with a straight back without any support. Close your eyes and inhale slowly. Breathe deeply through your nose and imagine your head pulled upward with an invisible string connecting you to the above. Become aware of your body and how you're sitting steadfastly straight as you lift your chest and your heart upwards. Your feet are firmly planted on the earth, and your seat touching the ground or cushion, with your arms resting relaxed at your sides. Envision a straight line from your lower back through your neck all the way to the top of your head. Now imagine a flame of fire rising upward above your head and directing your entire being upwards, being towards the higher divine realms. Envision that you're rising with the flame. You are perpetually rising upwards. Whatever distracting thoughts come your way, bring yourself back to being the perpetual flame, rising, 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 only seeing the good points in yourself and others. Even if negative thoughts distract you to try to get you down, just let them pass through you and reconnect with the flame directed to the above. Keep steadfastly rising. Just as the rose, when it is placed between the thorns, the northern wind pushes it towards the south, and the thorn stings it. The southern wind pushes it towards the north, and the thorn stings it again. Nevertheless, its heart is directed straight to the above. Similarly, Israel, although they're dried up, suffering, and under forced labor, their heart is directed towards their Father in heaven. Midrash Vayikra Rabbah 23:5. Imagine the fiery flame merging with the rose that withstand the wind and the changes of the times. So many challenges try to push you down, restrict your consciousness, and make you smile-minded. Yet you continue to steadfastly rise above. Breathe in while envisioning the word Olah, rise, and breathe out while focusing on the word Tamid, perpetually. Let's repeat that 4 more times. Very good. You are constantly becoming an Olatamit, always rising up to God, despite all the obstacles. No pain, whether physical or emotional, can get you down because you are aware of the ultimate goodness of Hashem the Almighty. Nothing less than the very best emanates from Him, even if it isn't always apparent. Your heart knows it, and your Emuna keeps rising with the upward flame. Breathe into Hashem's goodness. Kol David Rachmana Letav Avid. Everything the compassionate one does, he does for the good. Be still and allow yourself to feel Hashem's immense love for you right now. Raise your arms above your head and receive the divine abundance and blessings, and imagine sending them to different parts of your being while gently caressing the aura surrounding you. You are an Olatamit, a perpetual offering. As you are embraced by Hashem's love, your entire being yearns to become one with the divine. Become aware of how the feeling of equanimity gradually settles and calms your spirit. Whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes and re-enter your world with renewed aspirations and calmness.